All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this is going to be the latest entry into the series Never Fight Over a Woman. And this edition is going to be featuring Mr. Malik Beasley, one of the standout young guards of the Denver Nuggets. Of course, that means he plays in the NBA. And Mr. Cravens, who's a young standout defensive back currently with the Denver Broncos. And the reason why I love touching on this topic of never fighting over a woman is because it allows me to speak on various components or topics that I like to address on my channel. Number one being the sentiment of quote-unquote male-female friendships. Brothers, I state this over and over again. When you meet these women, depending on what your objectives or your goals are with them, you do have to make sure that you have an understanding of what her beliefs are in life and how she's going to go about engaging in a quote-unquote relationship with you. That's one of the main ways that you're able to distinguish between a concubine level woman and a wife level woman. You might meet a badass broad, got a fat ass, nice titties, and you're speaking to her. She seems like she has a cool personality, but she believes that she can have a bunch of male friends. You might just tell yourself, okay, she's a concubine, and that's going to be that. Or you might tell yourself, no, I'm looking for something more serious, I'm going to leave this broad alone. But once a woman tells you that she believes that she can have male friends, that is not someone that you can take seriously. Because that's going to bring so much chaos into your life, because all a quote-unquote male friend is another option for a woman. It's someone else for her to talk to so that she can attention monger, or possibly use that person as a mechanism or a method to offset certain things that she doesn't like about you. They might say to themselves, oh, this is my man, I love him, and he's smart, and he's this, but I like keeping so-and-so in the cut because he's funny, or he's got money, or something along those lines. At the end of the day, it's about you not allowing your own manhood to be marginalized. And once again, it depends on how seriously you're willing to take the woman. I say all that because it's very clear that these two young cats got played against one another by the female in question, a quote-unquote Instagram model, aka a cyber whore. That's really all an Instagram model is a cyber whore. Unfortunately for Malik Beasley, he's going to be inextricably linked with this cyber whore for at least the next 18 years because she had his baby. And that brings me to another point, and I've stated this in other videos, especially recently. In my view, in my perspective, in my opinion, the so-called black man should not even be thinking about getting a woman pregnant until he is at least 35 years old. That is when you have a firmer grasp of society, what this quote-unquote kingdom is about, how it works, and the amount of power that is allotted to the woman. Right now, Malik Beasley is quote-unquote in love, as we're going to see over the course of this segment. And we're going to find out over the next couple of years how things go in his quote-unquote relationship. Not to say that people should be in his business, but it is going to be a very good case study and how certain situations can transpire if you don't have an understanding of what's going on around you. He's 22 years old. Once again, he's in the NBA. He has his whole career ahead of him. He was able to be ensnared by an insta-thotty that he does not seem to understand is an insta-thotty. And even TMZ seems to surreptitiously understand what the convention is, because when we look at the photos that they use to depict Malik Beasley and Sue Cravens, Malik Beasley looks focused and serious, and Sue Cravens is laughing and cackling. Why is that? Because he's the quote-unquote male friend, i.e. either the side dude or the dude that's in the cut. Brothers, at the end of the day, if a man is trying to be a friend, quote-unquote, to a woman, all that translates to is that he's a patient nigga. That's all that is. He's someone that either used to hit it, is hitting it, or is waiting for his opportunity to hit it once again. That's all that is. And the vast majority of so-called black men who are dead or in prison are in those conditions because of a woman. And I'm not blaming the woman. When I say that it's because of a woman, it's because of their lack of understanding for what the woman represents, which is for the most part a 0 point for chaos. She is an agent of chaos and is unmatched on the planet Earth. Also pay very close attention, because as these two engage in their fist fight, I believe it's in a hotel lobby or in an apartment complex lobby, she's going to try to play the role that I told you, brothers, the woman likes to play. Whenever she has initiated the chaos, she tries to step in as the person who's going to create order. Supposedly she's level-headed and trying to stop people from hurting or harming themselves, when it's her or the element of her in this entire narrative that created the contention to begin with. We recently saw that with the storyline involving Ezekiel Elliott pushing the security guard. He was irate at the conduct of his woman, and he took it out on the security guard. And when he pushed the security guard, his woman tried to step in like the peacemaker. That's a role that they love to play after they have initiated anarchy. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
A wild show, everyone. Welcome to TMG Sports. My name is Evan, along with Michael J. Babcock.
What's up,
It's the question people always ask and no one seems to know the answer to until right now. Who wins in a street fight? A real-life, no-holds-barred street fight, fist fight, an NFL player or an NBA player? Well,
right, but who did not know that answer already, that it's the NFL player? Who the hell will pick an NBA player to defeat an NFL player in a fist fight? We all know that NBA players, number one, they can't fight. Number two, NFL players are basically trained for combat. They've already learned how to take people down. Cravens is 6'1", a little bit over 200 pounds. He's trained to take down a fullback who would normally go somewhere around 6'2", 250. So he would have no problem handling someone like a Malik Beasley. And just in how they train for their respective sports. In football, you're conditioned to utilize your leverage and stay low to the ground. Basketball is the opposite. You're trained to be explosive and elevate upwards. So of course, any combat situation is going to lean towards the football player.
To wonder anymore because that's what went down, and we have video of Cravens, NFL defensive back, and NBA player Malik Beasley, who's on with the Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets, good play.
Look at how they have Malik Beasley. He got his hands out like I don't know what's going on. Once again, they choose these photos for a reason, because they understand a lot of the sentiments that I put forth on this channel. They just can't tell you. They have to report from a two-dimensional perspective, but they know that Malik Beasley is the sucker in this situation.
Yeah, man, Malik can hoop.
They threw down at an upscale Denver apartment in August. Sua has talked about the situation, but we never saw video until right now.
Now, if you brothers pay very close attention, you see a dark figure moving across the top of the screen. That's the quote-unquote baby mama in question. And she's gesticulating wildly because she seems to believe that Malik Beasley is someone that she can control. And that's the reason why she reeled him in, because he's a young dude who does not know any better, and she can feel like a mother figure over him until she gets tired of him, which she eventually will, and move on to someone else, or most probably, move back on to Cravens. And Cravens seems to understand that, which is why he was most likely antagonizing Malik Beasley, and Malik Beasley felt like he needed to fight him.
Who wins in a fight between an NFL safety and a Denver Nuggets guard?
Now, do you see how she's pushing him across the screen? She's playing the quote-unquote peacemaker role.
You can see right here, Cravens is in the white shirt, and Malik Beasley, you see Sua's right there in the shirt, and Beasley's coming from the top of your string and approaches him, and all of a sudden the fists start flying. And it looks like Beasley's got a shot when this thing kicks off, but then, oh man, Cravens, who was on the Denver Broncos when this...
Yeah, Cravens picked him up and just body slammed him.
Shot just takes him to the ground and begins to dominate Beasley.
Yeah, but this narrative is really not about who won the fight. This is more about what brothers need to understand when they deal with these females. And unfortunately, the NBA and NFL players and a lot of these other cats in entertainment don't grasp that these females like to play athletes against one another. I have no idea why they feel like they have to share such a small pool of women. So many of these guys are actually having sex with the same chick. It's unbelievable.
Look at him holding him on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, once it goes to the ground, an NBA player is done for. I mean, a football player is trained. They train their whole lives, especially as safety, tackling people, getting them onto the ground, dominating them, not fashion. And that seems to be what Cravens is doing here, Babcock.
Yeah, it looks like Sua won the fight. Malik, like you said, he was letting the hands fly.
Well, Sua won from the moment that he was able to cast himself as the quote-unquote side dude in juxtaposition to a person in Malik Beasley who seems to be trying to quote-unquote wife up this chick. And who knows, it might end up being a Paul George situation. Paul George got a stripper pregnant and ended up marrying the broad and impregnating her again. Maybe it'll be a thotty happy story. Who knows? I just know that the vast majority of the time, black men especially, are ending up getting incarcerated or killing one another over a woman who's not worth it, because I promise you, that same woman who's playing the peacemaker, she tries to get in between or act like she's getting in between two men who are fighting over her because of the conditions that she wants and that she stipulated. There's a third dude in the cut that neither one of them know about. And that's who she's going to go to when one man gets put under the ground and the other man gets put behind bars. Always understand the nature of the woman. They have plan B, C, D, and E when it comes to dick.
He connected on any of those big punches, though, and Sua grabbed him and dragged him to the ground. And look, in the UFC, when you have top control, when you're on top of somebody, that means you're winning the fight. Sua great.
These fools try and break down this fight as opposed to assessing the reality of the situation. That being that Malik Beasley is in love with a hoe. Once again, no disrespect to the brother. He might truly believe that she's a good person. And hopefully for them, they can have a long and fruitful relationship because he has a seed with her. So that's going to be very important. But brothers have to stop treating these whores like they're housewives. He's 22 years old. He should not be getting a woman pregnant. Brothers should not be even thinking about getting a woman pregnant in this Babylonian society until they're in their mid-30s, man. That is when you start to understand what life is about, assuming that you did not gain the instruction that you should have received from your youth. So much goes on in the lives of so-called young men, especially young black men, between the ages of 16 to 35. That's when you're going to make most of your mistakes if you're not careful. I had a cat send me an email. I'm probably going to make a video about it, talking about he's 20 years old and he's looking for a wife. Brother, please. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, and there's no disrespect. At 20 years old, you should be searching out a way to elevate your own life, establish your career, and stability for the future. Not looking for a woman, because the vast majority of these females that you encounter are just going to be looking to have a fun time until they're about 35 to 40 years old themselves. No matter what they say, no matter what the woman claims about wanting to be a wife, she wants to have fun until she can't have fun anymore. That's the bottom line of that.
Beat NBA player Malik Beasley in a fight, Evan.
Yeah, it's bad. So let's go to the backstory, okay? So here's what's going on. Sua Cravens, he's 24 years old. He's 6'1", 224. Had a
6'1", 224. So he definitely has the power base over Malik Beasley.
potential coming out of USC, but his NFL career really hasn't ever exploded.
That's some issues.
And you can look at this dude and see he's bugged out. He got side dude written all over him. Like he's popping about 5 different dudes' girls.
The field, I think on the field, Sua is a good physical football player. He's talented.
And then you got Malik Beasley, who's 22 years old. He's 6'5", 195 pounds.
30-pound difference between Beasley and Sua in favor of Sua, and yet Malik Beasley's 4 inches taller. So he had no chance, especially if he had no combat training.
19th overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft. He's in the middle of a 4-year, $8 million contract with
talented guy, a guy who is looking to actually get a contract extension.
2 pro athletes. They got into a fist fight. These guys have been beefing over a woman named Montana Yao. She's a big Instagram model.
Big hoe. Brothers, chicks like this come a dime a dozen. You literally could walk down the street in any neighborhood and see chicks like this if you walk down the street far enough, long enough. And there's nothing against her, but right now, these whores, and when I say whores, I'm not talking about women, I'm talking about whores. These whores are in their heaven. This is when they can broadcast and advertise themselves and make money accentuating their sexual aspect. And I covered this topic or this concept in a video entitled, "Are Liberal Women Obsessed with Sex?" No matter what the woman says in general, or the liberal woman in particular, about men sexualizing them, men have always, at least overtly, desexualized the woman. If you look at any culture that is led by men, or what the toxic feminists in this society call patriarchy, men have always encouraged women to actually cover up as opposed to sexualizing them. When the woman has gained any level of preeminence or authority, she always leads with her sexual aspect because that is how she gets attention. That is the number one way in which they are able to court attention from men, and that also delves into the aspect of what they call a male friend. There's only so much that a heterosexual man and a heterosexual woman are going to be talking about on the phone or when they're in each other's company. You understand that? So this nonsense about male-female friends is based in the woman trying to recalibrate what a man's role is in society, and weak-minded men going for that. Or men who have been raised in matriarchal environments saying, yes, I'll be patient, I'll act like I'm this person's friend. If you're on the phone with a woman for brothers who are experienced in that manner, you know that 95% of a woman's conversation is complaining about life. She's complaining about her job. She's complaining about her home life. She's complaining about other things. And the reason why you're enduring that is because you're trying to get some coochie. So if the woman is telling a man who is her quote-unquote significant other or her quote-unquote boyfriend or husband that she has male friends, the only reason why she's doing that is because she wants other outlets for her conversation. Maybe she believes that a so-called male friend is bringing something to the table that her quote-unquote husband isn't. The woman is supposed to have one male friend, that being her husband. That's it. That's in a society that is about order. Now, in this chaotic environment, I always tell cats, don't try to change the woman, just listen to the woman. The woman will tell you who she is very early. If a woman tells you that she has male friends, you already know what it is. She probably has issues with manhood and or masculinity, and she's accustoming herself or has accustomed herself to being surrounded by simps, lame dudes, or low-level thinking cats who are willing to subscribe to her paradigm of male-female relations. That's okay. If you're in it just for the coochie, hey, do you. But if you're looking for a female to take seriously, you would never take a woman that has female friends seriously, ever. I had a female jump in my comment section just a couple of days ago on one of these videos. Oh, I've had a male friend for 20 years, and he's never tried to hit on me. I said, if some nigga been your friend for 20 years, and he's never gotten anything from you, never got no ass, he gotta be the dumbest nigga on the planet Earth. Because what the hell else could he be getting out of a conversation with a woman if he's not pursuing the coochie? He must be a lame or some type of pea-brain idiot that he's getting a level of gratification out of a verbal interaction, but I suspect that she's probably lying or delusional. A lot of these women like to have so-called male friends in their retinue that they know want to hit it, but the dude is such a clown. They just have him around for fun, shits and giggles per se. Remember that episode of Martin where Gina had the quote-unquote friend named Wallace, and Martin was like, what's up with this dude Wallace? Remember, Wallace was always going out with Gina shopping and shit like that, and Martin went to the shoe store with her because he was like, ain't no man going to the shoe store with my woman. You know why? Because Martin understood there's no such thing as a male friend. Knew that from 25 plus years ago. So they're still trying to run with that shit now. Why is that? Because men tolerate it.
He apparently is in a relationship with Malik Beasley right now.
And remember, come to find out, at first Martin thought, okay, maybe Wallace is gay when he had the conversation with him near the end of the episode. But come to find out, Wallace was trying to get, not to Gina, he was trying to get to Pam. So there's always an ulterior motive for a man claiming to be a quote-unquote friend of a woman, and there's always an ulterior motive of a woman that has male friends, no matter what she tells her man, oh, he's just a friend. All that's nonsense. But it's up to what you want to tolerate it. If you're willing to deal with that, that's on you.
Montana Yao and Malik Beasley have a child together, Evan, and...
Big mistake. And you can look at this brother Malik Beasley and tell he's in love. Look at the difference in his facial expression as opposed to hers. He's smiling wide, showing his teeth. She's not showing any teeth. Their relationship is not going to last much longer.
Montana Yao is friends with Sue Craven, a relationship that goes back a little bit. So,
in other words, she was fucking Sue Cravens before she met Malik Beasley, because she understands that there's more money in the NBA than there is for an up-and-coming defensive back in the NFL. A defensive back in the NFL is never going to make as much as an NBA player. This dude Malik Beasley, if his career continues to escalate, could possibly become a $35 million man a few years from now. With the way in which they're giving out money in the NBA, Sue Cravens will be lucky to ever hit 7 or 8 figures in the NFL as of right now.
It seems like this might have been a situation where Montana Yao was in the middle of two guys.
We don't know exactly.
And that's exactly where she wanted to be, in the middle of two guys.
Would specifically set this off, but you can imagine based on the information that we have.
Use your imagination.
Right, and you can see it.
No, you guys know what happened. You just don't want to embarrass Malik Beasley. You know that Sue Cravens used to hit this. She's keeping him in the cut probably because she probably likes his dick game. Who knows? Probably likes it better than Malik Beasley's. If she liked Malik Beasley's dick game better than Sue, I'm just speaking plain. My channel is geared towards the so-called black man. If she liked Malik Beasley's dick game better than Sue Cravens, and Malik Beasley said get rid of this nigga, she would have got rid of him.
Video, Montana is trying like hell to break up the fight and separate the two guys. She's begging Malik at several points in this video, don't fight him, don't do it, please don't do it. But he kind of like fights through her and decides to scrap with Sua anyway. And Sua had, he clearly got the best of Malik Beasley.
Once again, you can see this female pushing Malik Beasley around like that's her son. I don't think that their relationship is going to last very long. Once again, I hope that I'm wrong. But I make these videos as as samples or end samples for you brothers out there who may not have encountered this situation yet or have encountered it and understand what it means. The woman loves to be in this position. She loves to feel like she's in control over men, especially simple-minded men. And it's up to men to grasp this and not allow themselves to succumb to this convention, because it's not going to be anything beneficial for you. One of you is going to end up dead, the other will end up in prison, and she will end up with a third dude. There's always another nigga out there somewhere floating around in the atmosphere.
At the end of this video, we are being told that right here you can see Montana is pushing Malik and saying, don't fight. Meanwhile, Sua, we're told, was telling Malik, come outside, let's finish this outside, step outside and we can finish this thing once and for all. And Malik ultimately agreed, the two stepped outside, and we don't have video of what happened outside the apartment complex, but
there's video somewhere. I'm pretty sure you guys will have video in a couple days.
Video of Sua, who posted on Snapchat right after the fight. At the time, we're like, this is interesting. We didn't know the backstory, but we kept the video. Here's Sua bragging about beating up Malik Beasley. Watch this.
What's good, y'all? I just had to beat ass.
Damn, Malik Beasley got his ass whooped by El DeBarge. Ain't that a bitch?
I just tried me, you feel me? Scratched my face. That up. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my off day riding my bike. You know what I'm saying? I try to tell them I'm light skinned, but don't try me.
He said I'm light skinned, but don't try me.
They don't want to listen though. Vacay, I'm out.
All right, so that seems to be pretty, especially because he was wearing the same exact clothing that he was wearing when he fought.
And we didn't know at the time, Evan, what happened, if he was just making this story up or if he actually did get in a fight. Now to know that he got in a fight, and when you look at Sua, there's not a mark on him that I can see.
Yeah,
he won the fight.
He's got talent.
He can fight. If the NFL thing doesn't work out for Sua Cravens, you might want to hit up Data.
All right, so let's find this out. So were the cops called?
No cops called.
Okay, so there wasn't an arrest made, nobody's in trouble, and the fact that Sua was on the Broncos at the time, did they cut him because of this?
It does not appear that they cut him because of, not in the Broncos anymore, but does not appear it was because of this.
And we reached out to the Denver Nuggets, anything from them about Malik Beasley?
Nothing from the Nuggets or from Malik's personal agents.
So it seems everybody's just chalking us up to the two of them had a fight, they fought it out, they handled it, and now they're moving on, cool. And let's all move on with our lives.
In other words, we're both fighting over the same bitch. She's not going to cut off Sua Cravens. She has a baby by Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley is in love. Once again, brothers, should men fall in love? The answer is no, no, no. You love your woman. You don't fall in love with her or anything in the flesh. Or you end up making a fool of yourself, because when that woman is done with Malik Beasley, she's going to leave him behind, tell him what his court date is, and how much money she's going to demand for the raising of their child, quote unquote their child. And she's still gonna be fucking Sua Cravens, all right? And most likely somebody else from the Denver Broncos, Vaughn Miller, whoever the hell else that broad has gotten around with. But I just don't get it, man. These guys, all these women out here and you sharing the same broad, makes no sense whatsoever. And the woman can be replaced. I don't give a shit how fine she is, she can be replaced. But what cannot be replaced is you when you get locked up or put in that damn grave over broad. It's not worth it. Never fight over a woman. But anyway, peace.